In order to understand the logistics of the German Air Force in World War II, we must take a look at the rearmament process, the military control of the industry, the attitude towards logistics, and the dominance of the operational and tactical approach. The German rearmament focused on a fast build-up of arms and equipment. To achieve this, many different models were produced by a wide range of companies. Yet such an approach increases the cost of maintenance and supply due to the wide range of different vehicles and weapons. This problem becomes apparent if you look at the numbers in 1943. The US Army Air Force had 18 types of aircraft, whereas the German Air Force had 50. This problem was prevalent in other areas too, like the armament of planes. Take the B-17G, it had one type of defensive gun, the 50 cal machine gun, whereas the Heinkel 111 H6 had 3 different types of guns. This wasn't limited to the B-17 or Heinkel 111. The B-24, B-25, B-26 used only the 50 cal as defensive weapons, whereas the Heinkel 177 had a similar mix like the Heinkel 111. The Dornier 217 M1 also used 2 different types of guns. This wasn't limited to bombers, it was common for all types of aircrafts in both air forces. This problem was to a certain degree to the control of the arms industry by the Luftwaffe itself. Until 1944, as the only branch of the German armed forces, it controlled its own industry, which was in contrast to the United States, where the industry delivered the units most suited for mass production to the military. Now these circumstances were already problematic, but although German engineering is usually highly regarded throughout the world, the relationship of the military and engineering was complicated at best. Many officers had a lack of technical understanding and were even fine with it. Some were even blatantly ignorant. They didn't hide their disdain for technology and considered engineers as mere servants for their purposes. This divide between the military and engineering is well illustrated by the debate about the special insignias for technical officers. It was assumed that a technical officer would be perceived as less valuable by normal officers if those insignias were shown on the uniform. The attitude of the military towards technological and logistical matters manifested itself in the overall doctrine and principles. For instance, the primacy of the operational thinking was codified in the directive for the quartermaster. All officers and clerks working in supply services must be aware that the supply chain management is always servant of operational and tactical leadership and must never become its stumbling block. This is again in contrast to the Allies. In the Royal Air Force War Manual on Operations, it is stated that every operational commander had to be aware of this supply and logistical situation. Yet there's nothing similar in the German directive. To conclude, the German Air Force was well suited for small and short wars with its operational focus, but the fast build-up and military dominance in industrial matters led to a logistical nightmare as the war prolonged and turned into a war of attrition. Whereas other air forces usually adapted their logistical approach, the German Air Force was reluctant to disregard for anything outside of their operational and tactical realm. Thus, to a certain degree, the Luftwaffe resembled very well the so-called Knights of the Sky, yet in a time when the outcomes of war was mostly determined by mere servants. Thank you for watching, please like, comment and subscribe, and see you next time.